Captain Rambo?
What the hell are you doing?
Entering the jump point perimeter.
Gotta get you some readings, Fury. Hello? Hello?
Captain Rambo?
Where's Captain Rambo?
What the? Hi.
We're looking for Kamala Khan.
So our powers are entangled. I can manipulate light energy. And you, I can totally show you. Hi. Where's our doctor? Wherever you were. We're a team.
No, we're not a team.
We're not a team.
You know what? I ain't getting fooled. I'm not getting fooled. I'm not getting fooled. But that looks promising. I'm not gonna lie to you. That looks promising.
Where am I?
Ooh, fresh meat for the grinder.
Pay him no heed. He is cute, but he is.
There's gotta be a way out of here.
There's no escape. The only hope is the sweet relief of death.
Whoa! Oh, you've got to be kidding me! My army! Koopas! Koopas! Whatever those things are! Oh. We will destroy the Mushroom Kingdom!
Bowser is coming.
I'm not afraid. I'll do anything for my brother.
We're going to save him.
Yes!
You asked for it. This is fun.
Here we go!
Attack!
Let's end this.
Order now, you get me.
Rise, my servants. Sweep over Hyrule. Eliminate this kingdom and her allies. Leave no survivors.
I am not sure you'll be able to stop him. Please, lend him your power.
Lend him your power.
Zelda, we rely on your knight and that legendary sword he carries. Our last line of defense will be Link.
Link.
The Music Man. I can sense another masterpiece on our hands.
I know why I am here. It's something only I can do.
Damn right.
Do not look away. You witness a king's revival and the birth of his new world.
Okay, let's go!
But you are not alone.
Link. You are our final hope. Link! You must find me.
I hoped for a game with the two of them together. I ship them both still. And it's a different vibe than what I expected. It was going to be an absolute epic a couple trailers ago. Now it's kind of it's its own vibe as a sequel, really. It seems like a different kind of game. Yeah, well, future me will see if I was right or not. Alright, goodbye. I'm looking forward to this one. A new series coming out in March for Netflix called The Gentleman. From what I can only assume is based off the movie itself, directed by the guy himself, Guy Ritchie. I am absolutely thrilled because I love that movie to pieces. So, without further ado, if you just skip it, here we go. The Gentleman. Here we go.
Philip got too excited.
Do you know what I admire about the British aristocracy? They're the original gangsters. Your house is a testament to the synthesis of this culture.
Giancarlo Esposito, fuck off.
Refinement with aggression.
I'm so excited.
Should we play or should we talk?
Why was there a chicken costume?
Because why not?
Welcome to the jungle.
Yeah, Dad.
Oh my god. Do you know the thing is though, the only part I'm worried about is it doesn't seem actually remotely connected to the movie at all.
I don't think it will be.
The thing
It
is,
says
it
it's probably
can't-
set in the world.
It can't not be though, because it's the same title, so there's got to be some connection.
No, so it's set in the world of the film, I believe, but then I'm assuming it's going to just another corner.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, do you know how with Army of Thieves was set in the same world as Army of the Dead?
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's something similar to that, where it's a completely removed story, but it's still set in the same world.
Do you know what it is, right? There's two things that are really exciting me about that trailer, and I actually acted a lot more excited than I probably actually was now in hindsight, because it's just the fact that I was seeing it as a tangible thing.
And also you saw Giancarlo Esposito.
That's what it is, right? It's two things. The fact Giancarlo Esposito is involved with this, and the fact there was a guy walking around in a fucking chicken suit. I'm not joking. I'm not joking when I say that. The reason why that excites me is because that just tells me them two variables in the same show, I already know what kind of show this is going to be. I'm buzzing, man. I'm buzzing. And now that's pretty much confirming it. We are going to be reacting to this in March. I can't wait, man. I can't wait. This is going to be great. The only streaming film trailer we have today is a film called Spaceman. It's the latest one to a drop that we just added into the roster yesterday. But it is an Adam Sandler film, no doubt will be covered in March. So yes, this is. We might put this with the streaming section. We've got to decide that, whatever it is. But today we're running it now at this point in the show. So yeah, without further ado, let's go on. Here we go.
On behalf of the Eurospace program, 189 days into your solo journey.
Commander Prohaska, how are you feeling?
This is a serious film, but I still can't take it seriously.
What I'm doing is for everyone back home, and that makes me very proud.
I probably will.
Wife Lenka, of course.
Sad
I'm sure
music.
she's looking forward to having you home safe and sound.
He looks high.
He misses his wife.
That's nice.
They shouldn't have left.
Oh shit.
6 months in isolation. You start thinking too much.
Yeah, we thought that in 2025.
Uh-oh.
I did not intend to frighten you, skinny human.
Life vibes.
Do not be afraid.
There's an E.
Oh yeah, I remember. He's voiced by Paul Dano.
Ooh, was
The-
that a
the-
spider?
Wish to know if I am real.
It's Paul Dano's voice.
I am like you, an explorer. Your loneliness intrigued me.
Moonlight Sonata, nice.
Here, I might be of help. I wish to
Oh, it's a
assist you in your
spider.
emotional
Ew.
distress.
By giving you more drugs.
But you do.
Maybe that's one interpretation. Maybe it's bending space time. Okay, she feels his face.
You go where I go, and I go where you go. Right, say something.
Is that what's that face? Carrie Mulligan.
Finding them with you.
This is like the visuals are very much giving me Interstellar right now. Sort of like when you saw them like.
I like this. You know, this video is really.
Yeah.
Carrie Mulligan was phenomenal in Maestro, so I'm looking forward to this. That was a nice shot.
Oh, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying like it's taking inspiration.
I've got a theory here. I think this alien, all of this shit's in his head, all of it.
I would be bored by that. I wouldn't. If that was the twist at the end, I wouldn't enjoy that. But you know,
seriously, like I've. Right, we need to get stopped. Honestly, I think. That is. It's just the whole point that they're making of it is the fact how isolation just make it. It's just I was drawn by your isolation. It's like I honestly think all of that shit's in his head.
I wouldn't like that as a twist at the end. I would be. I genuinely would. That would be cheap.
See, I don't care if that's how it goes. It's just a case of doing it right, because the thing is that it should service him as a person and his character story. The thing is, when you try and do switcheroos where none of it's real, right? Yes, anything you get invested in that wasn't real.
But something about it has to have been real.
That's what I'm saying. And do you know what it is? Yes, none of it's real. The part about it that has to have been real is his development. Do you know what I mean? If they put so much...
No, but even development like in and of itself, if it's just, he appreciates life more, like, I feel like that's taking a shot at him. Like, he is supposed to feel lonely. There are times in life where you just feel lonely, and being in the middle of space is one of those things. Like, you can become at peace with it, but, like, you're doing that as a benefit to yourself, not because you should be. Like, it's not like he's... It's not like he's a bad person.
To me, what I'm thinking is him just getting over the thought of not being at home with his wife. I feel like that there, I think him getting over it or choosing to come home, one of the two, the realisation that I don't think any of that's real is going to do one of two things. Either bring him to a level of acceptance or force him to come home and have a happy drama ending.
But the problem with that is either of those things, if he just gets forced to come home, I guess that's the better option. But if he like stays there and accepts it, what I'm saying is like, he's not a bad person for wanting, for being here or feeling lonely because he's here. And he's not a good person for not being at home.
Yes.
So I would say if it was all in his head, I feel like it cheapens the whole thing in my opinion. But
yeah, look, it's open to interpretation. I'm not a big fan of those endings as is, but the thing is the observation I'm making is I think that's where they're going with this, because I can't imagine any other thing. Literally, there's fucking Aragog on the spaceship with them. This is not voiced by Paul Dano of all people. All I'm hearing is
not talk about the spider.
Right.
All I'm hearing is Riddler. I'm hearing Riddler.
What I will say is that was an interesting design choice for a world full of people who have arachnophobia. You didn't have to go in that direction.
You're talking to someone who's traumatized by Aragog, and have just had to watch creepy ass fucking alien spider in a spaceship.
So you probably watched the Half-Blood Prince scene and laughed. You probably.
Yeah, I was like, fuck yeah, you deserve that, you bitch. But then was also on the inside going, oh my god, that terrifies me because it's still a spider.
You reckon they're gonna have like a proper like trigger warning on that? Because I feel like that is very spider-like.
It's
like,
a very big spider.
Exactly.
He'll dissipate and he'll not be real at the end of the film. There'll just be Jim Broadbent standing there, like mourning for his loss, like reading a poem or something. Anyway, moving on. Right, we're on to proper cinema now. These will all be cinematic releases, starting off with, I'm pretty sure, a Nicolas Cage horror film, Neon. For Neon, just because it was a very, very short, probably right. Basically, the title of this is Remember to Say Your Prayers, but I'm pretty sure it is a short trailer for a horror film starring Nicolas Cage, very spooky and fantastic marketing at this point, called Long Legs. So yeah, there's going to be very, very quick reaction, but these have literally scared the bejesus out of people, so right, here we go. It's creepy, there's no jump scares, it's just very well done. Here we go.
see what his flash is like.
These guys are geniuses, you know. They're like seriously, they are absolute geniuses.
That creeped
They are
me out.
absolute geniuses. That apparently that's a language for long legs.
Yeah.
That at the end, that seriously.
Oh.
It's built for the film.
Do you know what it is, right? Do you know what it is? It's the fact how Nicolas Cage is in it. Like, the thing is, Dream Scenario was one of my favourite films of last year. And it came out of nowhere. Like, I'm loving the role choices. Not really Renfield, but I'm loving the choices he's taken, Nicolas Cage, in the casting. It's the fact how it's the fact that someone like him is in this movie.
Mm.
The
And
thing
also,
is,
I'm intrigued with the whole lore element. Like, there's a language being built for film. There's flashes, which is like 101 ways to hide stuff in your trailers is to have it flash quickly on screen. I'll have to go back through that. I want to see what.
they've released a couple of these trailers up to now. I think the one I saw that was released, like probably the first look,
Yeah.
was better because it was just absolutely horrifying. But honestly, this is. I can't wait till a full trailer because if that's what they're doing with the short snippets, which I get are more effective and easy to do.
Yeah.
I'm very, very intrigued by what a full trailer of that movie is going to look like.
Yeah.
Because they can't be doing the taglines anymore. It will be Longlegs' official trailer, and I'm very, very intrigued. Because I think, because notice as well, the marketing speaks for itself when they don't even say Nicolas Cage is in it.
Yeah. It's just truly about the horror.
Brilliant, man. Brilliant.
High
Right.
hopes, but
Yeah, absolutely. So, up next, 20th Century Studios, we have, I think it's an April horror film coming out, The First Omen. A lot of horrors in the run into the end here. But here we go. Still short trailer, 1:03 seconds. The First Omen, 20th Century Studios.
Good that bug?
That's delightful. I thought she was dead. Tenet. I do hope on that, he's not. I really hope. Oh, I caught that. See the mouth. The monster mouth. Why is this a horror film and a rock music video at the same time? I don't know.
Yeah, interesting. Why is it randomly backwards? I don't know.
What is this Tenet 2? What is this?
I don't even think it's going to be that. Like, I think that would be one thing, but I think it's just doing backwards stuff to be creepy, as opposed to. I don't think it's going to cost him for it.
It's got demon possession stuff in it.
Well,
I'll have to play that backwards. That's backwards audio.
Yeah, that's backwards. A lot of that footage was backwards as well.
Yeah.
There was
But
that
the thing is, if they don't factor that into the film, it's going to really piss me off.
the thing is, right, that's colour me confused. Because I think that was the whole point. Like, I don't really know what's going on. Obviously, it's just stream all like the nun scaffold, right?
Yeah, so I mean, there's
Probably
a
something
nonna,
about that.
a nonna of some sort of
something.
church.
I don't know, right?
She gets possessed.
Whatever it
creepy
is,
stuff
whatever
happens,
it is, right? But the thing
Plus,
is,
it's an orphanage.
do you know what my prediction is? And this could be really, really bold because of obviously with Night Swim recently, we've had quite a few generic
Horrors. Yeah.
horrors. A lot last year, and then Night Swim kind of kicking off the year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this is going to be a good movie. I think the marketing team have created a very intriguing, very interesting 1:03 second trailer, and there's probably going to be one more leading up to release. They're not showing much, and they're making a very intriguing, well-made trailer.
Yeah.
Because I don't actually think there's going to be a lot to show.
Honestly, I would put money on the backward stuff never coming up again.
Yes, I think all of that there, I think there'll be probably an aspect of the story that's got something to do with it, else they wouldn't have done it.
No,
I feel-
they've done it before. It's happened before. They just add creepy visuals to
Yeah,
it and
it just
trailers,
makes it look like it's more scarier than it actually
and
is.
it's just going to be.
I think that wasn't scary, that was like a rock music video. I was more intrigued than scared.
Like
the only-
even the whole smile thing, I don't think they timed that right in the trailer. It didn't hit in a way that was scary.
That eyeball shot was nice though. I've never seen
Yeah.
that. I've never seen a shot like that. That was genuinely creeping me out at the end because of just the thing
I've
is
seen a shot
I've seen a
like
shot.
that.
because they let it go. That's the thing. If it was like 5 seconds, I wouldn't have cared. They held it out for like nearly 10 seconds or something.
Yeah.
So right. Anyway, moving on. Okay, so our second last trailer is the one I'm personally the most excited for, even more than The Gentleman. We have a Studio Canal biopic to Amy Winehouse's life. Right, I've seen very, very short snippets of this trailer. I was rushing in to see Poor Things the other week, and I came in at the last 5-10 seconds of this trailer and just didn't look. So I know the last shot and whatever it is, but basically, I'm very looking forward to this film now. But it would purely include as the runner-up because we have from a bigger studio another horror, but a slightly different trailer. In fact, very different to play as our last main event. So here we go. We have the trailer for Back to Black. Advert.
Be gamble, Matthew.
Yeah, I will.
Don't do gambling, children.
Gambling's fun.
It's not good for you.
It's fun though.
I don't write songs to be famous.
That's good voice.
I write songs because I don't know what I'd do if I didn't.
That's very good casting. That's very good casting. That should look. She looks more like her there, yeah.
I want people to hear my voice.
Ah, here we go. That's good casting for Blake as well.
You've got to remember, I ain't no Spice Girl.
And that's great casting for her dad as well. Looks very well shot as well.
I want to be remembered for just being me.
Nice.
I want to watch that. I'm genuinely like,
Coming soon. No
excited to
date.
see it.
No date.
Amy Winehouse is actually my mum's favourite musician when she was growing up.
Wow.
I did dances for competitions.
I think. Do you know what I think? I think it'll be very, very solid because you probably noticed, else you would have been tempted to watch it. That there's not been a lot of awful buzz around this trailer. I'm very, very impressed.
I'm very tempted to watch it now. I genuinely want to.
I'm very, very impressed. Because the thing is, right? Yes, we can say, oh, we're trying to do this like for a job, right? And we're trying to cover entertainment like this. We're going to see this, but the whole job of this show is to excite us for reviews. That's the whole point. Yeah. It's on a personal level, not for you guys. On a personal level, we want to get excited about the culture here and witnessing it together firsthand. That is our first introduction to this film, and colour me impressed. I'm happy with that. Right, should we move on to the main event?
Yeah.
Here we go. Now, for our main event of the evening, or morning as you're saying this.
Well, we fog up your mask, you can't see anything.
Here we have
I can still see.
Abigail.
Oh, it's ballet. No, I hate ballet horrors.
That's not Alicia Weir, no.
Cheap.
Yeah.
You all came highly recommended.
Is that Melissa Ferrera? Again!
What is this casting?
Is that Catherine Newton?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very wealthy man who's about to be $50 million poor.
I'm here to make sure you're safe.
What's her name? Mine's Abigail.
That is Alicia Weir, isn't it?
Having kids.
She was phenomenal in Matilda.
See you in 24 hours.
Do you know what a pinky promise is? If you behave and do as we say, I pinky promise you, it'll all be over soon.
Johnny,
Yeah.
I'm sorry about what's gonna happen to you.
What the fuck?
So she's been held as ransom.
And I think they try to hold her, but she's actually holding them now.
She's decided now we're going to put you in over that.
Guys.
I don't really read this as a horror.
We kidnapped a fucking vampire. A ballerina vampire. Okay, how do we kill a vampire? What are we talking about? Like an Anne Rice or a True Blood? You know, Twilight?
She's good at this, better than Quantumania.
Daylight is a big one.
Oh, mate.
Let's go kill us a fucking vampire.
I'm on her side. I don't care about
Yes,
that.
exactly.
I want the vampire tomorrow.
Wreck shop. It also helps. It also helps the fact that, bear in mind, that's first impressions, by the way. You don't really expect what this is going to be, because I'm only going off words. Right, that's morbid.
I like playing with myself.
Yes, that's like Pearl. Fuck me.
No, you can't kill a fucking vampire with a fucking gun.
The teeth looked a bit stupid there, I have to say.
I think that the fight choreography is a little goofy.
Her dancing with a corpse, fantastic. Yeah, fantastic. Her dancing with a corpse, genius. Right, okay.
I'm not the biggest fan of the fight choreography though.
Though, to be honest, that wasn't really horror.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'll say though? Do you know what I'll say? I'm so happy for that young actress. I'm so happy, because honestly, I think she was one of my favourite child performances of 2022. Absolutely phenomenal in that role. If she's starting to really get into the industry and get her big breaks, she completely deserves this. And also, she's got, as a young person, she has so much to play with in this role. And I'm seeing loads of it here. Like, honestly, she has the potential to wow people. The thing is, no matter, even if this movie's shit, right, and it's actually quite poor, she has the potential to really impress people here. And I think she deserves that opportunity on every level after a showing in that film.
And this one could be fun.
Yes, but I'm completely rooting for her.
But I don't. It didn't promise anything of being a proper horror film, so I'm not gonna hold that against it. But it's not. It's barely.
So Giancarlo disappears, it seems, to deal with a ransom or whatever. I'd love to see him come back, see absolute carnage, and then get absolutely murked in the third act by her. I'd love to see that personally. Because if you're going to make Giancarlo Esposito look like a bitch, right, at least I'm going to see him pretty much around the same month period being a badass and the gentleman. Yeah. I don't care.
They balance each other out.
Kill him. For both of them, yeah, it neutralised, it's fine.
No, he has a clause in his contract that says, I need to look like a badass in all my films.
Oh yeah.
Do you know how The Rock
He doesn't even need to try. He walks in, I'm seeing, like, imagine seeing, like, Guy Ritchie gets his hand on Moff Gideon. That's just every time. Yeah. Anyway, I think that's pretty much it for this trailer. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Okay then. So that was our show. Now to get onto it, what you might have missed, very brief reviews for what's been coming out. So, Marvel Studios Echo for streaming. We have nothing to talk about with theatre, but with streaming, that is the that's been the big show we could say to be talking about. Binged dropped all on the same day on the 10th of January in the UK in the morning. We watched it recently, and then hopefully our reaction series for that on Maester Reacts will be out by the end of the month. But no, in advance I will say I thought this show was very poor. I don't think it was a bad show. I don't think it was a terrible show. It had some serious promising elements, but I did think it was poor. I'm not going to go into, I don't think I'm going to go into tremendous spoilers today with any of these reviews, so I'm just going to keep this very brief. But I was not happy with how Echo did and didn't deliver. I think its work with Kingpin, it sometimes was very, very sloppy, and it really diminished him as a character in places even, which is awful. I think Daredevil was completely wasted, considering he was marketed to be in this show. I think he was very much wasted and almost borderline unnecessary in the show from what they were trying to do. And I think Maya is honestly a rather. I think I found it very difficult to connect with her as a character, and there's very few times where I felt that I did, and that is a serious problem. Yeah, I don't think it's ideal at all. To really not connect with the character who you're spending multiple hours on end with on the same day binging it. And I truly feel that Marvel have just ripped the plaster off their leg and left the wound open, let it get infected, and just moved on. And I think this show should have released last year. I do say this in the reaction series, whether I cut it out or not, but this show should have been released at the very end of last year, in my opinion, to really leave a good taste, new year, new me for Marvel Studios, a good taste in people's mouths with the two animated shows, Agatha and Deadpool, which are the properties that should be coming out for the rest of this year. They should have left a good taste in people's mouths, and they haven't. And no, I don't think this is a good start of the year. So yeah, that's my brief review of Echo. moving on in the short way that I can. And finally, we're moving on to films. Now, there are 6 films that are eligible that we decided to review between the 1st and, today, the 18th of January. And those 6 films are One Life, Priscilla, Night Swim, The Boys in the Boat, The Beekeeper, and Poor Things. Now, first up, we have One Life. This film, people are raving about it, even in this country, and even the harshest of critics and pundits that I follow are really liking this film. Personally, for me, I thought it was good, very good in places, but I honestly thought it dragged in places as well, and I thought it was quite boring. I think the sequences in the past, some of them were quite shocking, and some of them were really engaging and emotional, and others really where it became more about getting the children out of the country. It was very procedural almost in a way, and very sit down and quite sluggish, and the Rubik's Cube of trying to figure out the situation through paperwork and everything I actually thought was quite boring, and it kind of lost the real gravitas and anchor of the film, which in my opinion is Anthony Hopkins' sequences in the present. So in the present, that whole storyline of him not thinking he's actually done much for these children and not actually being able to forgive himself for the few that got left behind, that he couldn't save. I think all that meaning in the future of him trying to grapple with the past was more interesting to me in every single way than anything that was happening in the past. And to that end, you'd expect an absolutely phenomenal performance from Anthony Hopkins, and it was very solid. It was a very, very good performance, but it was, for his standards, it was almost a little muted. I felt like it's very subtle. And whereas I think that would work for some people, for me, I think there's certain scenes where I think he could have used a little bit more. He really, truly was an elderly man in this film, and I don't. There's a lot of expression that I think was kind of left to be desired, to be honest. I think in his performance in certain places, but overall, a very solid film. But I'd have a hard time calling it any kind of masterpiece. Up next, we have Priscilla. I don't have an awful lot to say on this film. Honestly, I think the performances were great, and I think the design work in this film is also fantastic. What is my issue with it? Well, my issue is that it essentially makes Elvis out to be a and it makes me quite honestly just think about what the purpose of this film was and what they've done in possibly even in editing here. Or just in the way it's just been made, and apparently it was intended by Elvis's wife to be a positive work, both book and film, and this is not a positive film in Elvis's legacy at all. Because the thing is, right, even if this is true, and to be honest, it probably is, everything that happened in that film, I think the film only serves to tear him down. Seriously, and to that end, if that is the only thing this film serves to do, like why this film even exists, I don't care about what the intention was, what the finished product is. If that's all it serves to do, then what was the point in the first place? Really? What was the point? Because I was disgusted, and Bug did see this one. And she was disgusted as well, the whole way through. So, yeah, I don't really have much else to say on the matter, but yeah. Yeah, I'm quite disappointed, to be honest. Moving on, we have Night Swim. This film, cheap exploitative horror and very generic, kind of what you'd expect from horror nowadays, but not from Jason Blum and James Wan. I was quite disappointed with that. But the interesting things that made this film what it was the mystique and the angle of the pool and why it's so horrifying or anything like that. I think, and the best scene in the film is nowhere even near the pool. And so the sequences and the way it's made, I wasn't too happy with. Honestly, I wasn't. And it was very cheap and exploitative, and I was not impressed. And with just jump scares here and there and everywhere. But the mystique and the story and what they try to do on a conceptual level was very interesting. So I think it was almost quite disappointing that it kind of all went to waste in that way, with just the way it was executed. Just, I'm a little annoyed, to be honest. But, for what was good. And it was all right time. It was fine. Yeah. Right. Moving on, we have The Boys in the Boat starring Joel Edgerton. This movie cannot decide who its lead is. I think its tone and its genre was not well handled at all. There's some charming moments and some just decent scenes. Like the race scenes were actually really well handled and really, really well done. But this film has no magnetism to any characters. The coach has no relationship with his students. You feel no actual character connection between these boys at all. They're just there to do a job, it seems like. And there's just so little connection, and the performances are so muted. I think Clooney, I don't know if it was this script that was the issue, but honestly, I'd be very disappointed if this is the script I was given to direct. But I will give the film's credit. The Nazis being the adversaries, I did not expect once they arrived at the Olympics and facing the Germans, and I think that could probably be pretty evident in the trailer. I don't know, I apologise if that's a mild spoiler. But I did not see that coming, and that really changed the film into a high gear towards the finish line that I was quite happy with, and it really saved it from a film which, to be honest, in early stages, I was begging for it to end. Right, moving on to our penultimate film of the discussion, and we have The Beekeeper. What stupid fun this was, and honestly, choreography that was nearly John Wick level in the late second and third act. This film, honestly, it had the bee puns left, right and centre, and when I wanted it to stop and I was annoyed by it in the first act, I soon realised that this is the film that thoroughly deserves puns because it's just such stupid fun. And honestly, imagine if a film like The Meg 2 was good. That's what this was. And honestly, to be honest, I think I'll forget it in a heartbeat. But if you're looking for just a stupid time that was actually really well done with a really good anchorage in terms of wanting just hell on earth with how bad these idiots are who mess with Jason Statham and the people that he cares about. You've got enough emotional anchorage there, almost like John Wick's dog getting shot. You've got, I don't even know if he was shot, to be honest, but him getting killed. There's that much going on. It's just bombastic, man. And Josh Hutcherson, I think it's my favourite performance of his ever because he just glides it beautifully. Like there's just stupidity of the rich guy's son, and that kind of role, and honestly the just the power that he thinks he has, and just a scared little boy when it actually comes down to getting face down with Jason Statham. It's fantastic. It's fantastic, and it's honestly, there's just some films that they need to be like this. They need to be stupid like this in order to work, and they do. This film works. So thank you, David Ayer. And I'm sure you had a much better time making this one for Sky than you did making Suicide Squad for Warner back in 2016. So, yeah, that's The Beekeeper. Okay, finally, the main event. Poor Things. 5 stars. Right, honestly, I'm going to, again, this is an unfortunate predicament where I don't have an awful lot of time to talk about this film, but I'm going to get my thoughts out the best I can in this video. There's a lot of reviews that's been saying that this is a film about it's a feminist masterpiece for a modern age and everything like that, right? And I do agree with some of them where they've said it's a modern take on Frankenstein, I would say. With a slight twist, with no spoilers, there's a slight twist to that angle than just her being created from life, right? Just out from scratch. To me, honestly, I can see where they're getting the feminist elements from in the review, but I think they're looking at the wrong thing here because yes, it's a fairly strong element of the story, but it's not the core of it. And I think branding that in it reviews is a little misleading, and misleading to some people who have just been so inundated by crappy messages of that kind that it would probably put them off seeing this film. I would call this a story about life, and that is the reason why it's 5 stars primarily. This is a story about someone through the eyes of a child with such a phenomenal script, essentially learning the goods and the bads of the world through such an innocent and naive perspective. And the way in which it's done is so emotionally potent and so mesmerizing with the incredible, absolutely astonishing visuals and the design work across the board in every department. The way in which it's executed, it's almost like an abstract, beautiful work of art, a painting that you really can take something from rather than just being useless, that can't be understood. There's meaning in so many ways with this film, and it just keeps getting better. I was debating in my head whether it was going to be, obviously it went from 3 stars to 4 pretty confidently from a very early stage, but transitioning from 4 to 5 stars and being one of the best films this division has ever reviewed, it developed from a sense of there was just more sequences, and it kept getting better and better and better, and the pace changed as time went on, and the pace shifted gears, and it changed, and it went from highs to lows, and yes, there was a slight pacing issues in certain areas where it just kept really going on, and it should have really drawn to a close, but they shifted gears well enough that I didn't mind. I kind of just sat back and experienced cinema and loved it. I just sat there and was happy. And the way it managed us to do that, and it just kept getting better and building on the score I already had for it. Yes, of course it become a 10 out of 10 with a couple of flaws here and there. It's overly graphic in the nudity department that you didn't need to do, and sex and everything. It goes where it needs to go for humor purposes, and it's funny, but even then it goes a little bit too far. There's mild things I've got wrong with it, but it doesn't take away the fact it's one of the best films this division has ever reviewed. Astonishing. And that's only half of it. Half of it is the script and the story. The other half is Emma Stone's performance, which might honestly be contender for top 3, if not the best performance of this division I have ever seen since I started it years ago now. Honestly, I cannot believe what I saw. Just little quirks that babies have. How she was able to take that on at such a young age of Bella Baxter's character, and then transition it across 2.5 hours to the point where we're talking to her like we know her as a companion. She's on our level now. Seeing that transition across 2.5 hours was honestly astonishing. Absolute masterclass from a design perspective, from a story perspective, from an acting perspective, and she deserves all the accolades and awards that she'll get from this Emma Stone. Astonishing. It made me even think she's done Cruella. She's worked with Damien Chazelle. She's done this. She's done about 6 roles that aren't coming to my head right now. She's done superhero in a little bit with the Amazing Spider-Man movies. Her career, her portfolio she's now starting to cement herself in legacy territory now. She's really starting to cover some ground in the history books. So I'm just a lowly budding film critic like myself. I'm personally proud of her from worlds away. I'm proud of her. I'm proud of the filmmakers. I'm proud of everyone involved in this project because it was simply magical. And that is my review of Poor Things.